What? Yeah, what's this? Like,
Well, what we think happened is we think the kids actually died in the middle of the night, and she put them in here to warm them up and then forgot about them. What we do know is the next morning, everybody here woke up. They were very, very excited because they could smell really good food, and they thought they were actually being fed something decent, but now it was babies in the oven.
Back in April, I traveled up to the Greene County Historical Society to dig up some information on the Mount Morris Mystery House. After looking over some maps and documents with museum director Matt Cumberledge, Matt offered to give us a tour of the museum. However, I was unaware of the paranormal evidence captured only by my camera's microphone, so I figured I would showcase my findings in this episode of this run-and-gun style tour of the Greene County Historical Society.
I would never thought you had all this in here.
Oh, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Like
Like this is a recreated train station from the Waynesburg and Washington Railroad. And we actually have
Getting goosebumps.
a locomotive from the Waynesburg and Washington Railroad outside. Yeah.
Getting major goosebumps in here.
This specific, we have that outside. Yeah, and we have a passenger coach that goes with it.
Where the heck would you have found that?
Well, when the Waynesburg and Washington Railroad went defunct, the Pennsylvania Railroad bought it up. They stopped using the locomotive in the 1950s, and it lived over at the fairgrounds for a while, and then in the 70s it was brought out here.
Huh.
Feel fine in this room. That doctor's room is like a little weird. I got goosebumps in there.
This room actually was a cell. Originally it had iron bars and grates over the windows and doors, so this is probably a more unpleasant room than most.
I feel fine in this room.
Yeah, but like you can see, later on they replaced the glass with chicken wire. But if you look, like, see how this window frame was beefed up a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
And you see these holes? There was a steel grate that went in here. And then there was a steel grate that went into the door as well.
Gotcha.
You can actually see, they're all gone, but you can see evidence of it better upstairs.
That's insane that this would have been a cell. Like,
Yeah.
it don't even seem like a cell environment.
No, this was bigger than my bedroom, so.
Well, it wasn't built as a cell.
Got it.
Yeah.
Turned into one.
Yeah, there probably would have been 10 or 15 people living in this room, but the cell part came later. Yeah, the downstairs below us, they also kept people living down there. Most of the rooms, well, all the rooms originally would have had just, bare stone walls and dirt floors. Some of them now have concrete on the floors, but people were kept living down here from the time this part of the building was built in 1886 till it closed. And there are a lot of written accounts of people being chained up to the walls down here, and there's still one place left where there's a big iron rod that comes off the ceiling, and that is where they kept people tied up.
Oh my goodness. It's like a maze down here, dude.
Yeah, but the chain isn't original, but that bar is one of the things they kept people tied up from. And this particular area would have been remarkably hot all the time because the heating system was behind that, so that would have constantly radiated heat out.
I feel like I'd be miserable in this room, especially in the summer.
Yeah.
Like even in the winter, I feel like I'd be way too hot to be kept. And I don't like how, like, even though it's like a decent space for like people to get by.
Yeah.
It's tight in here.
It's a little tight. It's a weird area, man.
Yeah. Yeah, anybody who had like severe mental illnesses that couldn't necessarily be controlled, they tended to be kept down here. And then this area was also used as a form of punishment. You
Yeah.
you acted up, It's basically like the hole in a prison. Now in the 1930s, we know that this room was specifically used. There's a shoe shine shop in here, and it also kind of serves as a coffee shop. Not just for the people who lived here, but people from outside could come in here as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's neat. When we remodeled down here, we actually found this little tin cup stuck up in the ceiling. So probably left over from the days when this place was still open.
Man. This reminds me of a different case. The tin cup. Well, that's really weird. The tin cup, for sure, just like gave me some like weird vibes to another case, and it was just...
Oh, wait till we get upstairs. That's the more interesting part. Yeah, we're setting that up as a...
Oh, is that a legit tombstone right now?
There's several tombstones leading against the wall down here. This is a World War I guy. This actually was never used on his grave. There were mistakes on this. These other ones are ones that we actually found in the basement of our barn that had been dropped off here sometime. This is our general store. And again, all this stuff is organic from one general store that closed actually out around Graysville.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is all their leftover inventory, including the little coffin.
Didn't even realize that was up there. I love the faceplate. Why would they do that? Like, why would they have the faceplate on there?
I think it was so you could take it off for the funeral, and then when you buried him, you could put it over so the glass wouldn't break.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the tin ceiling in here is not too bad either. It's got a couple spots that need repair, but...
But I'm just...
Oh, yeah, I guess they probably didn't have embalming processes like that we do now.
No.
So they probably sealed that thing shut.
Yep.
Where would this store been out by Graysville?
So, I can't remember off the top of my hill. It was owned by a guy named Grimes. Because we actually have his ledgers here, too. And then when this was functioning as the poor farm, this was the Inmate Kitchen. And then this little room over here was the bake shop. And if you watched Paranormal Quest videos, you guys probably know the history of the bread oven. Around the turn of the century, one of our female inmates cooked her kids in here.
Oh, yeah.
But it still works, and we do use it from time to time.
That's weird.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. What's this? Like,
Well, what we think happened is we think the kids actually died in the middle of the night, and she put them in here to warm them up and then forgot about them. What we do know is the next morning, everybody here woke up. They were very, very excited because they could smell really good food, and they thought they were actually being fed something decent, but no, it was babies in the oven.
That just made me feel really weird. I think you just talking about it.
This place has a really nasty history, especially before 1900. We've had hangings here, like suicide hangings here. We can name 746 people that died in this building, and the records aren't complete, so it's probably closer to double that.
Yeah.
You know, in the 100 years this place was open. And this isn't someplace you would have wanted to have lived.
Yeah, nah.
You know, through the bulk of this place's history, it was never maintained. It was always in very, very bad shape. It was filthy, disgusting, and the living conditions were horrible to say the least. And a lot of that was just kind of like prisons today. You stick people in a place like this and nobody cares.
Yeah.
You know, out of sight, out of mind.
Oh, man. Up the stairs.
That threw me off. I was like, we're gonna go back down the same hallway.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna be walking up that big wooden staircase, but it's probably on the other side.
Yeah, it's another part of the building.
Was this like service access or something?
This actually was the inmate stairwell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in fact, the ceiling, floor, everything in this little hallway here, there's no wood other than the window trim. The floors are solid slabs of stone, the ceilings are solid slabs of stone. And it was built that way in case like a fire broke out in this part of the building, it would have traveled across here and destroyed the other part of the building.
Gotcha.
This is the most haunted part of the building. This was the female ward. We don't really specifically know why this is the most active, but it is. And then most of the rooms we have set up here are kind of like what they would have looked like when this was the pour farm. The only thing that's not really accurate is the fact that they're clean.
Yeah.
And originally these walls would have been plastered, but the roof on this part of the building was very, very bad and leaked, and the plaster was just destroyed. So back in the, I think it's the early 90s, they had to remove all of it and replace the roof. So, but I kind of like the bricks.
Oh yeah, I love the brick.
Yeah.
Exposed brick is everything.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just trying to. Wow, that's a weird
whole room right there.
weird placement for a cross.
Actually, that's that cross is. So the cemetery that serviced this place is on the next hill over behind the county jail.
Yeah.
And that's actually one of the crosses that mark the graves up there. We're in the process of replacing them with those iron crosses, because most of those fell over and rotted.
Oh. Oh.
And most of this stuff in these rooms up here is from here, was used in this building.
Man, there's like nothing to the beds, huh?
No, no.
No luxury.
Thought I just heard someone behind me. That wasn't you guys.
Well, that's normal for up here.
It sounded like a female whisper. I just want to document that to check my audio later.
This is also, again, if you guys watched the Paranormal Quest video where, I know Ryan was up here. I think it was Ryan and Steven. They had the footsteps.
Oh, yeah.
That was here.
In this hall?
Yeah.
Well, my wife, she's a nurse, and when I walked in that room, I got a weird feeling, and then you guys were just talking, and I was adjusting my footage for the light, and then I heard like a whisper or something.
Yeah, that's normal for up here. That's very, very normal for up here.
It's a weird building.
Yeah, it is. It is. And every part of the building has its own unique vibe. It's like it's a bunch of small buildings, but
Oh, so this would have been a cell.
yes, this is the room above where we were below.
Gotcha.
And again, you can see the evidence here of bars, and you can see it more clearly. Like, that's why the floor is ripped out over there, where that stuff was set into the flooring, and it apparently came in and just ripped it out.
I love that. I love the grates.
Yeah.
The grates.
Those are original from 1886.
That's what I was figuring, because I see them all over and then those ones.
Yep. But yeah, if you look, we're in this room right here. The plans even show bars on the windows as opposed to a window. Yeah, actually, before these plans were drawn, this whole area up here, this originally was just the male dining room, and then this whole area above it was the female dining room, and then at some point in time, they cobbled it up into smaller rooms.
There's like some rooms I feel fine in, and then there's other rooms that just set me and they're just directly across the hall from each other.
Yeah, every part of the building has its own unique vibe. For real, for real.
And then when you step out in the hallway, it's just like which vibe pulls you.
Yeah.
Because I instantly, I was just drawn to that room. Just because the nursing, I don't even think I saw the nursing. I saw the cross first, and then.
See, an interesting thing about this room, no idea when it happened, but you can see all these doors were meant to be locked from the outside.
Yeah.
And you can see that this one's been kicked out a few times. And you can actually follow a path out this hallway, down the stairs, and out the building where all the doors have been kicked out. So somebody in here was very unhappy at some point in time.
No shit. No, whether it was a live person or not.
Yeah.
That's the mystery.
A couple years ago, you couldn't even get into this part of the building. This entire floor If you see this line in the ceiling, this had been completely walled off and abandoned.
Really?
For about 20 years, completely walled off and abandoned.
That's fucking insane.
Yep, it was just literally walled off and nobody went back there. When I started working here, we ripped all that down and started opening these rooms up.
Do you think that being walled off for so long, maybe this is why this area is a little bit more active?
Well, actually, if you ask some of the previous staff here, it was the activity that's the reason why it was walled off. This is our barber shop. Again, all one barber shop, and that's the original sign above the door.
Oh shit.
What is that?
That's you'll see it's a big clock.
Oh, I was like, alright, I know I didn't hear that the first 3 times. Okay, no, I heard it.
Rosemary. Must have been one of the people that worked here. Or...
Actually, this came from Rice's Landing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this came from Rice's Landing.
You don't see them with metal too often. You normally see them with the wood, but you could tell that this guy kind of
Loved his job.
loved his job, or he made some good money. How about a shave? How about a shave?
Yeah, this is another one of my favorite rooms because this stuff just looks cool.
Yeah.
And this is a sewing room over here.
Is this the razor sharpening belt?
Yes, yes.
That's so cool.
The sign they're bringing in looks sick.
What is it?
I don't know, they was holding the sign that said railroad crossing.
Oh, yeah, they're setting that up downstairs.
Oh.
Yeah, in fact, I was telling you about our train. There's our train outside.
Oh, like all the way back there.
Yeah. Yeah, again, we have a little bit of everything here.
Yeah, dude. This is... Well, I didn't even... I didn't expect you to have a barbershop, full, like, country store. Now we're in, like, seamstress shop.
Yeah.
That's insane. And my most favorite... Okay, I don't know what it is. No clue what it is. This kind of style built... The gold, the hand-painted logo.
It's just classy looking.
Dude, I saw it down, I saw it in the barbershop, and then it was another seamstress down in the store with all the needles and threads and stuff. That box just made me feel like I need to own one, or I need to make one.
You can find them. You can find them. They exist.
It's just very hard to come by.
This is our Boy Scout room over here. There's not a whole lot in there. We just kind of finished renovating it. Yeah, this place was literally falling apart.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't painted any of the ceilings yet, but you can see like up here where we had to have a bunch of plaster fixed.
Well, yeah, hearing that clock is weird because I didn't think I noticed it before.
Oh, well, look at this clock. It's gigantic. This is the original clock from the courthouse in Waynesburg. In fact, you can even go in there. But yeah, that's the original clock from the courthouse.
Whoa.
Man.
And is it controlling, like, the actual clock?
Yeah. In fact, you're looking at
There it is. Wow.
Yeah, and then in the room below this, you can see the pendulum and the weights.
Oh.
Yeah, it keeps remarkably good time.
Well, dude, the mechanics in this thing is just...
Insane.
Yeah.
What time is it? It's not... Okay. Just keep clear of this, because when it winds and you don't know when it is, that thing starts flying around in circles and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. It gets really loud when it does it too, and if you're up here and you're not expecting it, it will scare the shit out of you.
What times does it normally happen?
It's like 15, 20 minutes before the hour usually, but it's really more on where the weights are at.
That's insane.
Oh, grandfather clocks.
Those are around 1800, give or take.
You can tell someone put a little bit extra work into that one, because the eagle and the pillars. Just that sound is so daunting.
Yes.
Like it's a very like, God.
It definitely makes it creepier up here.
Especially at night, I bet.
So most of the rooms forward, you're getting into the Stewards residence who maintain this facility. So this is like the kids' room.
Oh god.
You got a weird vibe?
No, I can't turn around, man. Dolls freak me out.
Yeah, I hate dolls.
Oh.
I looked like one dead in the eye too. It was like, oh.
Yeah. So this is like the kids' room with an adjoining playroom.
This would have been the Stewards.
Yeah, this is where the steward and his family will live, is in this front part of the building. Like the fancy room downstairs, that was their section of the building.
Randy, you started freaking me out with the dolls.
Oh man, there's more.
There's more?
Oh yeah, there's 2 whole cases out here.
Oh.
And these are just random bedrooms.
Oh, the pedal car is cool.
Yeah. The wheels on that still work as smoothly as the day they were new too. Yeah. I'll be honest with you, I wish these fireplaces worked. The bulk of this building doesn't have heat, and it gets cold in here in the wintertime. It gets very, very cold in here. There's only the offices downstairs and the front rooms are all the heat. Everything else is just here.
Hey, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
This isn't hooked up to any electrical stuff, is it?
No.
Okay.
Nothing in here is hooked up to electric, except the light.
Okay.
In fact, I don't even know. I don't even think there's an outlet in the. Yeah, there's one outlet in this room.
Okay. I'm just gonna note this for my footage later too. So I looked and I got a glimpse of our little friend here, and as I was like stepping back, it looked like this had like an overhead light come on.
Oh, really?
Like real quick. Like
Yeah.
like it was like a flash or something. Like I thought there might have been like.
Yeah, there's.
There's the.
That's cool.
I thought there was like a motion light for like when people walked in the room, maybe.
No, there's very, very little electricity. Like I said, there's the light and an outlet.
Yeah, I saw this kind of like flash a little bright, just that like living room area, and it's kind of weird because it's the same kind of like colors as. It was just a very weird thing. Like I thought that's why I had to ask you if it was like hooked up because I just saw that one.
Welcome to the county home. They must like you.
I hope so.
This is the attic. They let people live up. Well, they had people living up here too.
Oh shit.
The floor feels a little squishy, but I assure you it is perfectly safe. So in 1871, they finished this off as a room up here, and we've got first-hand accounts of there being 8 double beds along this wall, and there were 16 guys living up here.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And of course, that's the only ventilation is that window over there, and it was kept shut all the time because they didn't want them jumping out.
Yeah, this is a little weird.
Yeah. Well, nobody comes up here much because it's, kind of a disaster.
That's weird.
Yeah, those heads are creepy.
Yeah, those have been there. I don't know where they came from. Those have been here as long as I've been here, and a lot longer than that.
There's a weird vibe up here too.
That's what I was
Just like the long hallway feel and just being lit by like one source is the weird part.
Can't believe they made people live up here.
Well, that was when things had gotten severely, severely overcrowded.
Surprisingly, it's rather calming up here. It's not like.
Maybe it's because you're like above like the people that ran its home.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of one of the next big things on my renovation list is getting this fixed up.
I guess I can like ask you this again later, but how do we get people to donate or what?
Push our website and our Facebook page.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because like people would love to see this. I feel like it's just not as known yet.
It's not. We're getting there. But yeah, most people, again, a couple years ago, people didn't even know this place existed. But we've been out here since 1968.
Really?
Yeah. But we're finally getting to the point now where we're actually marketing it and promoting it.
Yeah.
Because again, it's unique. You don't see a lot of places like this. Like, this is kind of a combination between a really good museum and something like Weston State Hospital.
Yeah.
We bridged that gap really, really well.
Yeah, no, this is like the perfect, you got your historical stuff, but also as well it has its spooky side.
Yeah.
Which it's not on like the massive scale as Weston.
Yeah.
But it's more convenient for those.
Exactly.
A little bit more cost effective too. And then it's like lucrative income for you guys to help keep the place running, and it's not like a donation based thing. You're giving someone an experience of a lifetime in a place that, you know.
I'll let you guys go down first so I can shut the door.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't believe in price gouging because that
No.
you end up making less money that way.
Yeah, you think having the higher price would help out, but it really just, I don't know, it makes things stagnant.
We hand mixed this paint color.
Oh, really?
We were renovating up here when the whole COVID thing first happened.
Yeah.
And, you know, we didn't stop. We continued. We were closed anyway, so we thought, well, hell, we might as well continue working up here. But all the stores were closed, so we couldn't buy paint, so we had white paint, and we mixed most of the colors in this hallway. We mixed ourselves.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Whoa. You never see them in that pristine condition.
The clock or the picture?
The pictures. This one especially. What's the deal with these guys?
We have no idea. We have no history on those whatsoever.
It's just like, that's a really clean,
Yeah.
both of them are really clean prints. Wow, just hearing that clock still.
Yeah.
It's just,
This is the vanity that Ryan needs.
oh hell yeah.
This is the original part of the building.
This is a very good, I got a good feeling in this room.
Dude, I've never seen one of those in person.
That works. I don't know how to work it, but it works.
I know you like send that thing like through it or something.
Yeah. We've got a person that comes in for our festivals that does demonstrations on that.
That'd be sick.
I love artisans, man.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not handcrafted, normally not a fan of it. Unless it's technology, but other than that, I mean, you can't beat pristine iron, cast iron machinery. Dude, it just lasts.
Yep,
dude,
it does.
We got to investigate the Robinson Grand Theater, and that place has the old, like, early 1900s, like, giant film cameras down there still. Just seeing how big and, like, how did you get those up the stairs?
Yeah.
Just to project
I want to know about some of the pianos that are upstairs in this place.
Dude, oh yeah, because
this is all from the Crow house. All this furniture.
What?
Yeah, this is all from the Crow farm. In fact, that's a painting of the Crow homestead.
No, it didn't happen right at the homestead.
No, that's further up the road. Like, if you go past Crow's Rock, it's probably about 2 miles. That's where the house was. The house burned down.
And that's where the massacre took place?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, well, they killed everybody but one.
Yeah.
And that was the
Brother.
This furniture actually was all originally in this house somewhere as well.
Is that black china?
Yeah.
You never see it.
No, it's very, very rare.
Yeah, it's always blue and white. You never see, like...
And a lot of the silver is actually early 18th century.
It just blows my mind this stuff was able to last this long.
Yeah.
For something people didn't really care about.
Yep.
Wow, it's even in the cabinet.
Oh, yeah.
I was just looking at the table like an idiot. All original glass in the windowsill.
Yep.
All original glass in the windowsill.
Yep.
And you can tell just because, like, how the glass was, like, formed and stuff.
Yeah.
It has that, like, wobble and the reflections. God.
Yep.
They don't make them like they used to, Randy.
Yeah, we think that's probably dates to about 1810, 1820, the cabinet.
Wow. And it's so minimalist, too. But
yeah.
But even, like, down at the bottom, you can see, like, where they were adding some sort of design to it.
Yep. And, of course, we got our mooring art in here. That's all made from human hair.
From deceased members?
Yes, yes.
Wow. From deceased members?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
Wait, they would cut people's hair and make art out of it?
Oh, you guys have never seen that before?
Oh, no, hair art is a thing.
Oh, big time. Yeah, those are exceptionally nice examples.
Yeah.
But yeah, somebody would die and they would cut their hair and
turned it
braided,
into like
make
a
these
bracelet, brooch,
Yep.
pins, dude. They got weird back then.
Oh yeah.
Like how else were you supposed to commemorate someone?
Exactly. Yeah, because
You couldn't really take a photograph.
yeah. Well, that's why pictures of dead people were so common. That might be the only picture that existed.
Yeah, the mortician photos,
Yeah.
and it like they're propped up and they're like, and they because they are dead, you know.
Yep. He was a judge in the county, J.P. Hines.
Is any of his stuff here besides his portrait?
Not that I'm aware of, but the answer to that question is probably a yes.
Just because, I mean, notoriety and stuff.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Ah, dude, you have so many old books. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Dude, just throughout this entire place, almost at like every big formal room, I feel like you have.
We probably have at least 20 or 30,000 antique books.
You got the commissioner.
Is that from like a snuff spit?
Yes.
It's a little spig guy.
So I was like, I know what one of those is.
Yep.
Oh wow. I mean, that's not the Templar cross, right?
There's one way to find out. Oh, it's about manners, custom conduct, and dress. It's an etiquette book.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yep.
That's so nifty. I've never seen a book like.
Really?
Not like where it says our department and has like the symbols and stuff. Normally you see them and they have, you know, your typical this.
Yeah.
But never this kind of like inlay or. That's like I just saw the cross on there. I was like, wow, that's really weird. But it would make sense if like the art etiquette thing, if it was like, because you know the societies and organizations, they're all proper and they have.
Absolutely. Actually, it's common in the mid 19th century for everybody to have a book kind of like that. Like they made them for young men, young women, spinster women. Like the bed.
Yeah, that thing's amazing.
Oh. Wow.
It's heavy.
Oh, I
can assure
believe
you,
it.
It's heavy.
That's no easy feat to get it up.
No, we had to do repair work on this last year because it had started to separate down here.
Oh, gotcha.
It required scaffolding and about 8 guys to just kind of put it back together and stabilize it.
Wow. Marble top. You never see marble top
Actually, there's 2.
like that. Matching, like, yeah, you never see it with the wood. Normally you can find just the wood, but
Yeah.
they definitely had money if they had the marble top on there.
So, like, what kind of people were they? Were they, like, does anybody know anything truly about them?
So the people that lived in the back of the house,
Yeah.
honestly, it was mostly people with mental or physical disabilities.
Gotcha.
I mean, the people who ran it. Right?
Oh, the people that ran it? We know a little bit about some of them. The first steward here, his name was Elijah Adams. Really decent guy. He was here for about 20 years. Then in the late 1880s, a guy named William Cage took over, and he was quite an from all the reports. Like, he was known to beat them, you know, abuse them, all kinds of horrible stuff. And then after turn of the century, you have a whole slew of people through here, but the problems seem to have, you know, gone away.
Yeah. Well, you're always going to have that one.
Yeah. But in an 1881 article in Atlantic Monthly, a guy named Octavo Thanet, he was touring facilities like this all over the country, and he called this one the worst
Really?
in the nation yet.
Wow.
And what year was this?
1881.
Sorry, Randy. Sorry. Get out of here.
How long has that been on in your pocket? How long has that been on in your pocket?
I don't know. It might have just turned on because, you know, I was standing weird.
I was gonna say that that's the first time it went off. That is a little weird.
Yeah. I don't know. It's solid. It could have just been because it's by my pocket. My phone's in there. And you never know. Like, I carry my spirit box. That's why I have my speaker in my hand. I'm just like, you never know if something's gonna pop off.
This, of course, is the formal dining room downstairs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, dude.
Oh.
I feel like I've seen this guy's.
That's the guy that built the house.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, Joseph Reimer. Yeah, this was his home from 1857 to 1861.
I'm sure he passed away.
Actually, the kind of how this place came to be, he built this as his residence. But he was broke and couldn't afford to pay for it, so he lived here for a little while, couldn't pay his bills, and ended up selling it really, really cheap to get out of debt and moved to either Iowa or Illinois. Then the county bought the property, started adding on, and it became the poor farm or county home or whatever decade it was and whatever name they decided to call it.
Thank you all so much for joining me on this week's episode. My name's Danny Strakal. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, check out my Facebook, Dark Hills Media, and Spirit Walk Paranormal. If you like this episode, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll catch you in the next video.